Hey moms, it's Nakimi. Welcome to the channel and space for single moms navigating motherhood. And as always, we do not bash the baby daddies because, well, we are here now. If you are new to the channel, welcome. We discuss all things pertaining to single motherhood, and I am a huge advocate of mental health for single moms. So if you are a single mommy looking for a community, please subscribe. Do not forget to hit the like button and leave me a comment at the end of the video. So, mommies, today I want to talk about boundaries. Boundaries as a baby mom. And I ran across a video on another social media platform, and the young lady apparently was a baby mom. And she was basically talking about the new girlfriends that come in and are dating men with children, and they tend to be girls until it is time for the baby dad to kind of help the baby mom with things such as, like, maybe coming over to put together the bed for the kids. And she was basically stating that, you're a girl's girl until a man is involved, and then you're okay with the baby mama struggling. And this got a lot of people to talking, of course, in the comments or posting comments in the comment section. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit and get you all's perspective. For me, I can say that I never asked my daughter's dad to do anything outside of, sports activities, or be there if we needed to do a parent-teacher conference, or just anything that was strictly pertaining to her. Now, when it came to my household things, as far as moving furniture or even moving, I never asked while she was growing up. There was only one time that I asked to move her bed. We were giving it away, and I paid him for his time. And that was when she was an adult going off to college. So I can't necessarily relate to that. We just did not have that type of co-parenting relationship, nor did it ever just cross my mind, let me go ask him. But I do not see anything wrong with being able to ask your child's father to do something, especially if it's pertaining to the kids. Now, I'm going to, preface this by saying you're always going to have the scandalous baby mamas, right, that are trying to one up the girlfriend, that want to prove that they can still sleep with their baby daddy anytime they want to. They're just messy, just so messy. You're always going to have those situations. And my advice to a woman that's dating a man with children is you got to, first of all, know your man, right? You've got to be able to trust your man. And if there is a situation where his child's mother is crossing boundaries and he has not addressed it or has not made moves in his life to be able to kind of duck and dodge that or get that under control, then I would suggest you rethinking if that's going to be a relationship that you want to continue to be in. And this is not me speaking from the perspective of a baby mama, like, well, get on. But, I just think that you may want to rethink that one, right? I think sometimes when we get into relationships with people that have kids, blended families, co-parenting, it's already hard, right? It comes with its own set of challenges. But I think sometimes the women are triangulated, or B, it's just a lot of ego involved. I understand that boundaries have to be set in place, and I'm definitely all for boundaries, for sure. But I do think that we have to kind of rethink what are the boundaries, and are the boundaries necessary in a sense? Like, to me, maybe there's a situation where, your boyfriend's child's mother doesn't really have a lot of community, right? Maybe she doesn't have her dad in her life, or he's passed away. Maybe she didn't have any siblings. Maybe she's just struggling, so she can't really afford to pay for someone to come and fix up the bed or come and put the bed together, right? Assembly the bed. I think you have to take each situation, and it's going to be different for everybody. But I do think that there's nothing wrong with, maybe it's a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, during the daytime, respectable hours, him to go over to assembly the bed for the kid, assuming that she doesn't have a community. Because the comments that I kind of saw on the post was like, well, where's her man? She needs to ask her man for that, to do that. And oftentimes, everybody doesn't move on. Usually the men are kind of more able, from just my perspective or my opinion, are able to move on and find a girlfriend, because men are naturally the pursuers, right? They're naturally the ones that are going to be asking a girl out on a date and ultimately asking her to be in a relationship, whereas women are sort of kind of waiting to be selected and waiting, to find the guy. So not everyone moves on, quickly. I think that if you are that worried about him going to put together a single bed, I think that maybe there's some insecurities that you may want to check. Because how that man shows up for his kids and how he treats the mother of his child or children is exactly how he's going to treat you. And this is me speaking from a healed woman. This is not me speaking from a baby mom's perspective. This is me speaking from a woman that if I were to get into a relationship with a man, and since my child is grown and his children were, not grown, I'm going to be looking at how is he actually showing up for his kids. Now, I don't plan to have any more children, but if by the off chance it does, I do, I would like to know that if at any given moment we don't make it, right, how is he going to show up for our child? And so I think that that's something that, we really need to look at. I think that children, one, we have to look at it through the lens of a child. We never really stop to think that the home is already broken, right? So that those children or that child may never, right, get to actually experience having both mom and dad in their life. And although that is not your fault as the newcomer, right, because unless you cheated with the man and you've elevated your position from side chick to main chick, right, that's no fault of yours. But I do think that when we go into already made families, we have to have a level of discernment. And we have to have some type of compassion for the other parent, especially being a woman. We all know, especially if you are a baby mama yourself, right? If you are a single mom and you got with a dude and now, he has kids. So as women, irregardless if you have kids or not, we know the devastation of relationships. And so I think that providing that grace and approaching it from a mature standpoint is always going to be beneficial in your favor. And again, this is not for me to say that you cannot have boundaries in your relationship. For sure, if the baby mama is constantly asking him over, and when he comes over, she's dressed in lingerie or something skimpy, well then, yeah, she's out of line. You know what I mean? For sure, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my man going over there. But I also will be looking first at my man to nip that in the bud. And if he's not doing that, if he's allowing that, then I need to rethink my position in his life. And I'm probably going to get up and exit. But that's just me. So what do you guys think? I like to see healthy co-parenting. I think it's one of the Kardashians that I saw. I can't think of the one. She's kind of really more of the calmer one. Anyway, she has I think she was married or have a baby by a guy named Scott or something like that. But her and Scott and, his significant other, they take trips and things like that. I just think it's really healthy for the children to see, if he's going to go over to go fix a bed, I think it would be good for you to go and you and the baby mom have some some chat time, and the kids kind of see the camaraderie and the unity between you guys. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion. I also saw another post a while back where there was a question posed, if the baby mom was stranded and she called the baby dad and she was in the car with the child, should he get up and go help her? And so many people were like, call her tow truck, this, that, and the third. And I think as long as you get her help, you get her help. But if he can't afford to do it and she doesn't have anyone, again, it's going to depend on her community and their dynamic. You've got to know both parties. You got to kind of know, is she crossing lines? Is she respectful to me? Has she, cross the lines as far as calling him late at night or sending him flirty text messages? I mean, I think each situation is different. So, know your man, know your relationship. And if you don't trust what's going on, then again, rethink your relationship. And again, I understand implementing boundaries and just kind of making sure that things stay cordial. But I also think that we need to take a look and make sure that our boundaries are not deep rooted in insecurities, for sure. So you guys let me know what you think. Do you, as single moms, ever call your child's father for things outside of school activities, or hey, they got a doctor's appointment, things like that, like maybe to help you with something that you probably would, call your brother or, your uncle or dad for, or whatever? You guys let me know. But that's all I wanted to share today, guys. To my single mommies, you got this, mamas. I love you guys. Till next time. Bye.